This tutorial is on Dreamweaver, Chapter 3, Lesson 5. Lesson 5 has to do with enhancing an image, putting a border and white space around it, and also the use of alternate text. On page 3-30, we are working with a file called About Us, and it wants us to select the first image, which is the clubhouse image. And then it wants us to go down into the property inspector and notice that we have a border. The border will put a dark line around it, so I'm going to put a 1 in there. 1 indicates just that it's going to show. The border setting, as it states on page 330, is not visible until you preview the page in a browser. Also, what it wants us to do is add spacing. So I'm clicked on the first image again, and we're going to type a 7 in the V space. V stands for vertical, and we're going to put a space in the 7 for horizontal spacing. And you'll notice that the text is further away on the right hand side here, and the text is further away on the bottom. You'll notice that the image is further away from the left and further away from the top compared to the other images. So notice that this image is a little bit further to the left. It's a lot closer to the text. White space is very important to give the image a chance to be seen. Otherwise, people are going to be looking at how close it is versus the actual picture. It wants us to repeat these steps and put a border around all the other images. Click there, put a 1 for the border, and a 7 and a 7 for the spacing. And you can see how much nicer it looks with the image a little off to the right here and have its own space. Next, it wants us to click the boardwalk image, and down here we do have an edit settings, image settings. So I'm going to click on that, and here's where we can make it look like a different image if we wanted to, or save it as. You can see that you can go into GIF and notice that it's a little larger. Let me go back to JPEG. I want you to notice the size on this image is 2.86 kilobytes. If we change it to a GIF, you'll see that first of all it won't display, and it's 12.52 kilobytes. If we go down to PNG file, you'll see it's 10, PNG 24, 25 kilobytes, and PNG 32, 27. If I go back to JPEG, you can see that it looks a lot smaller with the image that it is. I'm going to click on cancel for that page. On page 332, it wants us to edit alternate text. I'm going to click back on the clubhouse picture, come down here, and it wants us to click in here and add the striped umbrella clubhouse. The alternate text is very important for accessibility. It allows screen readers to read it and give user a text of the image. It wants us to do this for every one of these images. Put in a better alternate text. As you can see on page 332, the alternate text, when seen through a browser, will display as you hover your mouse on the image. On page 333, wants to show us why we get this alternate text when we put in an image. If we click on Edit Preferences and then click on Accessibility, you'll see over here that anytime you enter a form object, frames, media, or images, you're going to get a dialog box that says to add an alternate text to this image or to this object. I'm going to click on OK. This concludes the tutorial on Dreamweaver Chapter 3, Lesson 5.